While Russia continues to hold peace talks, fighting continues in the Kursk region of Ukraine. The Russian army is trying to completely remove Ukraine from the Kursk region. While all this is happening, Russia sees Ukraine's acquisition of new weapons as a violation of the ceasefire. The war is now continuing in the region. Let's take a closer look at what is happening on the front together. Ukrainian artillery launches an attack on the Russian convoy detected by the Ukrainian 253rd Assault Battalion. While the Russian military vehicle at the forefront explodes with the first artillery attack, the other vehicle, still on the move, tries to retreat. The 4 Russian armored vehicles, lined up one behind the other, become completely open targets for artillery. The attack is so unexpected that the Russian troops did not expect it at all. The Russian army, which leaves the vehicles to be destroyed, risks losing the vehicles in the convoy. In the meantime, you can like and comment to support us on our content. We need your support to continue creating our videos. Let's look at the attack footage more clearly from another angle. Russian soldiers who managed to escape from the tanks run towards the wooded area to survive. They try to hide in the ditches and escape the attacks. But this is not possible. Tanks, infantry carrier armored vehicles are completely destroyed by Ukrainian airstrikes and artillery strikes. The soldiers who got out of the vehicle, which was no longer able to move, went to the trees and started hiding. They had no chance of escape before help arrived. According to reports received in this attack, Russia lost 15 soldiers and 4 armored vehicles. The Russian army, which is just a few kilometers behind, is also facing the same fate. Ukrainian Azov artillery destroys Russian tanks with critical hits. Panic-stricken Russian soldiers try to hide in the woods to save themselves, but they are constantly being followed by drones. They are trying to get to the armored vehicle that has not exploded yet to escape. However, the scale of the Ukrainian attack is so severe that the soldiers cannot reach the vehicle. Russian soldiers are trying to find a place to hide from Ukrainian artillery and drone attacks, but the terrain is so vast that it is not possible. While a few Russian soldiers reach the still operational vehicle, the remaining soldiers of the Russian battalion are targeted by the Ukrainians. The surviving Russian soldiers get into the vehicle and try to escape. Russian soldiers trying to escape in a Russian T-70 tank manage to escape the artillery attacks, but they come across an anti-tank mine on the way. Immediately after, another tank steps on a mine in the same way. There is nowhere to escape now. The tracks of the vehicles are damaged and they are trapped here. After this, Ukrainian drones attack and begin to attack the remaining soldiers. The 83rd Territorial Defense Battalion detects a hiding place for Russian soldiers in a small village in the oblast. Once they are sure where the soldiers are going, they begin a mortar attack. The house was completely blown up by the mortar shells that hit it. All that remains is rubble. These abandoned areas are being turned into military shelters, front lines by Russian soldiers. It seems that Russia has no intention of abandoning this region. It is certain that the two sides will not make a deal without taking territory. The Ukrainian 454th Infantry Battalion is destroying Russian armored vehicles detected by air vehicles in the Kursk region with explosive carrying drones. Even if the vehicles are abandoned, they are not left behind. In any case, they are destroyed so that they cannot be used by Russia again. A Russian trench that is very well camouflaged among the trees. After this Russian trench is detected, Ukraine immediately takes action. The Ukrainian 2nd International Legion unit starts an attack on the Russian trenches with a T-80 tank that they captured from the Russians. As they approach the identified coordinates, the tank halts behind a ridge while Ukrainian spotters confirm the trench's exact location. Without hesitation, the T-80 opens fire. Its first shell lands just a few meters from the Russian trench, shaking the earth and sending debris flying into the trees. Seconds later, the second round hits directly, collapsing part of the trench and setting off secondary explosions, likely ammunition stored inside. At the same time, Ukrainian infantry flanked the position, moving swiftly through the underbrush. After nightfall, Ukrainian artillery units begin intense fire on predetermined coordinates. The targeted Russian trenches, hidden in the wooded area, are clearly identified using thermal cameras. 120mm mortars start firing first, shells landing in different parts of the trench line, tearing up the area. Then, heavier howitzer fire follows. Explosions are lighting up the tree line as Russian positions are systematically targeted. Every movement detected by surveillance drones is immediately hit. Russian trenches continue to reveal major tactical flaws that Ukraine is quick to exploit. One of the most obvious mistakes is the construction of linear trench systems. Instead of building in depth with fallback positions, Russian engineers often opt for straight-line layouts. This allows Ukrainian artillery, or FPV drones, to neutralize large numbers of troops with minimal effort. One well-placed strike can cause devastating losses. Ukraine, 19th Public Order Protection Regiment, Azov Military Unit, 109th Mountain Attack Battalion, 1st Motorized Battalion, conducted simultaneous operations in Kherson, Kharkiv, Luhansk regions following the airstrike carried out by Russia in the city of Sumy, while peace talks between Russia and Ukraine continue. Acting on the information received from the intelligence, the Ukrainian army launches a violent attack. This unexpected attack almost causes panic among the Russian soldiers. Ukrainian troops launch drone attacks and artillery strikes on houses and buildings where Russian soldiers are located, and then carry out raids. Ukrainian forces were so well prepared for this operation that the infantry maintained air support throughout the conflict. According to initial reports, the number of Russian soldiers lost in one day rose to around 1,600.